Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, finally, right? Finally Friday, even though I'm off half the week, April 25th. And today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, CONY, Nvidia, MSTY, not AMZ, PLTY, and SMCY. However, since it is Friday, we may just go through all the trades in general as a quick overview and go from there. All right. So as most of you know, obviously the ones that are here know that it's live. If you're watching this after the fact, keep in mind this video is live, so I will pause for questions, to hopefully help out the people who are here if they have questions in regards to the anything I'm covering. So those of you that are live, feel free to ask as we go, and I'll try to keep an eye on the questions. I did not Zoom yet, so let me get that. I think we said 175 is the sweet spot, right? 175. Why don't they have it pre-selected? Let's see. Okay, yeah, 175 is good. All right, so I fixed the mouse scrolling, so thank you for whoever told me about that. So let's see who had trades. Believe it or not, TSLY still did not have any trades. So OR, GAPLY, Nvidia, Nefly, Coney, blah, blah, blah. And you know where we're going. We're going to MSTY. MSTY's trades, there actually weren't that many. So obviously that means I'm screwed today. But, yesterday was pretty easy day. I miss these type of days. Pretty simple and straightforward. So what they do, buy to close what? Call. All right, they paid $9.29 per share. And why? Why did they pay so much per share? Well, look at the strike. It's $3.40. The stock price looks like it closed around $3.50, $10 more. So obviously they need to cover that gap plus or minus, whatever. So so they closed that and they opened a new call for next week. No, I'm sorry. No, for this week. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Yeah, so they're staying in this week, which again means I'm double screwed today. So before I even go any further, if you guys don't mind and you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. I know sometimes I forget to remind you in the beginning of the video, which is when it counts. But yeah, they opened to 350 for today. It's already in the money. And I'm not sure how that's going to hold up. MSTY are looking a little red in the pre-market, so I guess maybe it will. But who knows, man? And then it looks like they buy to close put. They closed out the 270 synthetic, and they added to the 340. But we have a spreadsheet for this, so let's get to it. All right, let me get the zoomage going on this one as well. Yeah, we want better than we want 175. Let me know if 175 is perfect, and then we'll go from there. Let me just check the chat as well. Good sound. Thank you. Thank you for confirming the sound. Oh, hey, Deke Farrell from South Jersey. Good to have you. Fellow neighbor there. Thinking of dabbling in TSLL. The premiums are fire. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, they are. That is a fund to trade. It's crazy, though. Slim Booter, I added 509 MSTY shares to my position. Congratulations. That's awesome. And the Blessed Beacon says it's perfect. So thank you for confirming that. All right, here we go. So they closed this 270. Let me pull that tab up first. So they only had 5,040 contracts left. They cashed it out, and they made $38.3 million for cashing out the rest of that synthetic. So obviously that number will carry down here into the payment 7 information, which gets pulled into the payment tab. So those 5,040 contracts, they were added, I believe, to maybe the 340. Yeah, the 340. And you can see here how much did it cost them to start the position, about 3.2 mil. But again, they made 38 mil, so that's nothing in the scheme of things. So now they have 18,000 contracts on the 340, 66,000 contracts on the 330. Both are in a great spot so far. again, anything can happen. We've been green. Everyone's happy. Everyone's jolly. And we know, you know, just keep in mind, you know, things can go flip the other way. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer and all, but yeah, man. All right. So here's yesterday. Yesterday, MSTR, it went up 1.33%. MSTY went up 1.15%. So not terrible, right? Not terrible. And just FYI, I just wanted to take a look. Here's MSTR went up 1.33. MSTY went up 1.15. I don't know how IMST went up 1.29, right? Because again, we're tracking the holdings, and it looks like, I mean, everything's at a 350. Maybe, I don't know. I guess because of the expiration date of their call, it goes out to May 16th. It didn't, you know, move it too much. So I'm guessing that's why. But if this continues to get blown through, this, you know, they're going to be capped, and they're going to be capped bad. But IMST did beat MSTY yesterday, so I thought that was interesting, if anyone cares. All right, let's continue. Let's see what they closed out yesterday here. If we scroll up, again, anything in gray was previously covered. So I'll try to make this easy to look at. I know someone said, can you make like something with a cursor? I don't even know what they said. But I thought even having a cursor was an improvement. Can you guys see like the arrow? Is it not big enough? I don't know. Maybe I need to do something with that. But let's keep going. 5,800 contracts here on the 340, and I believe there's 300 down here. So these went together. They got closed at the same time. They paid $9.29 per share. We covered that on the other tab. In the end, they lost about $3 million on that trade overall. Again, because they were capped, so they had to cover, cash settle the difference. And then on the 300 contracts, they lost about $184,200. All right. But again, we know they made money on the synthetic, which more than offset that. All right. Yeah, this is just chilling. They got contracts still open for today. All right, they closed a 340. A lot of contracts here. Big position. 13,115 contracts. 340. They paid $9.92 for that sucker, and they lost in the end about $8 million. Which, you know, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, you want green? This is what comes with it. All right, let's keep going. Oh, stupid mouse, man. I got to get a better mouse. This is freaking awful. The scrolling is, even when I'm scrolling the right way, I'm still bitching. Could you imagine? All right, did I talk? There it is. 337.50, 4,400 contracts. Damn, 10.93 per share to close that sucker. And they lost about $3.2 million in the end on that contract. All right, let's keep going. I think that's it, actually. Again, pretty easy day, but you see how many trades they have to close today. Again, today's Friday. Today's expiration date. Today's 4/25. I'm screwed today. I am so screwed today. Yeah, this is a lot. This is so much. Yeah. Anyone want to do it for me? I need an Excel helper. Anyway, so outstanding shares did increase by 1.1 mil. That's 0.9% increase. Still decent increase. Here's the recap. 30-day IV, 71%. Outstanding shares, 131 mil. Total net income, unfortunately, it's a loss of 38.4 mil. But again, we got blown through our calls. Let me catch up on the chat. Skittles, what's up, Skittles? All right, is BMax the same as what? OWNB? I have no idea. What the heck is OWNB? Own Bitcoin? All right. This is a lot of text here. My aim is to get between 280,000 and 330,000 YieldMax shares, which I will then draw, say, around 40% each week and reinvest the rest. so that you still get the benefits of partial compounding. All right, so you're gonna spend 40% of it. What are you gonna do with that 40%? Is that gonna pay bills? Good morning, R2 Droid Builder. All right, let's continue. So we're gonna go to. We talked about the MSTR funds again. This tab, we are gonna track how much Bitcoin MSTR will buy or does buy, and then we're gonna track how MSTR does versus their various covered call ETFs. There's going to be a Rec Shares one. They did file for it. The name is actually, I don't remember the name. I could pull up the prospectus tomorrow if you guys want. Let me know. All right. Here's the reaction. 3B. I think you know where we're going with this. And Group D declares in 12 days on May 7th. Payment information. Okay. Here's the fun part, right? Payment information. Do we have? Yeah, we have the 340, the 260, the 330. They're all in there. Okay. We have made 329 million synthetic income. We lost 38 million on the weeklies again because we got capped. So that's a total net income of 291 million. There's again, outstanding shares totals 131 million 100,000. So if we share all of that net income with the all the outstanding shares, that comes to about 222 per share at this very moment. And that's if they paid out every dime that they made as of today for this full 4-week cycle. They don't normally do that. So obviously this would be an estimate on the high end. If you want the guesstimate on the low end, use the IV. The IV is 71%. You multiply that by the MSTY price, you divide it by 13, you get $1.26. So the low estimate, 126, the high estimate, 222. That's kind of where we stand. Here's the number. Here it is. 3 billion. All right. The MSTY fund is 3 billion. I mean, do you guys understand how large this fund is? I decided to pull up some of the ETFs that it's larger than. MSTY is larger than Virtus, whoever the hell they are, Toodle, whoever they are. Title, this is not accurate. I don't know who that title is, but all these various funds. SoFi is only $1 billion fund. Is this right? I don't know, man. But MSTY is okay. Let's look at the 3 billions. Morgan Stanley, 3.97 billion. Maybe they're just not big. Defiance, 3.81 billion. Round Hill, 3.7 billion. Again, MSTY is 3 billion by itself. That's pretty freaking insane. Where's YieldMax in the rankings, though? Right up here, it's up to number 33. So if you click YieldMax, this is not even updated. It still shows 2.91 billion, but obviously it's MSTY, and then there's everyone else. Yes, Nvidia's in the billion. Coney's approaching it. Tesla's still approaching it again. And then there's everyone else down below. YieldMax is pretty large, but it's just crazy. I don't know if anyone cares about that, but I thought that was kind of interesting. All right, let me catch up on the comments. Good morning, Wolf. Good morning, Father of the Bride. $2 MSTY. Michael wants. All right. This Boz wants 3. We're definitely not getting 3. Yeah. Well, I couldn't annualize that sucker because there was no weekly income. But yeah, I definitely need another coffee. I was going to get a coffee before the video, but I didn't. I read a Seeking. Here, let me read this. I read a Seeking Alpha article that had MSTY as a buy. Wow, that's surprising. That is surprising. Oh, 3 billion fund. Yeah. Okay. All right. So here's the holdings. They have 2 synthetics now, 330 and the 340. For whatever reason, again, they expire next month. So May, we're going to be closing these sooner or later. But hopefully MSTR can stay, where it's at, or it can go up. We'll see. Let's see if I think I can get this all in one picture. The 392.50 is the bottom one. Okay. So let's see. Yep. Everything expires today. Because again, I'm noticing even on the Thursday. Guys, they're opening trades 1 DTE. This is a 1 DTE fund now. It's crazy. This is a crazy active fund. And I don't know, man. It's nuts. So here we go. The lowest strike, 347.50. It's 0.81% in the money. And then the second lowest is 350. That's also in the money by 0.1%. Everything else is out of the money, though. They go from 355 all the way up to 392.50, 1 to 12% out of the money. Again, not necessarily safe, but we're at the point where they do have some credit call spreads in between, which they'll capture something if it does pop above 367.50, especially. But to be honest, today it's okay if MSTR just chills and stays where it's at, because we did, we had our boom, so we can chill out until next week. We'll sell calls further out of the money, and then we'll capture that upside. That's my preference. Anyway, cash held 40%. Again, the value of the fund is $3 billion. Freaking nuts. The NAV 22.89, trade price 22.89. And I'm probably talking a little lower than usual because my son is still sleeping right above my office. So synthetic bailout money is worth $1.22 per share. Synthetic contracts total 85,000. They're selling calls on 89,000, but again, they do have credit call spreads, long calls that they can sell more calls on. So credit call spreads that they're selling, that they have on the sold calls, essentially is 68% of them. If you care. IMST Holdings, no update. They still have the 350 strike that's in the money. That expires May 16th. All right, let's go back to the trades. And we're just going to go through them. So TSLY doesn't have a trade, so I'm just going to go right to the TSLY file. Let's get the proper zoom. That's 150, but I guess, again, I got to type in 175 every time. Super annoying. You check the comments real quick. I'm not even kidding, LA. I have your mug right next to me. I did have a cup already. I just need to refill it. But yeah, it's a good mug, man. They're pretty decent company. Happy Friday, Austin. Jay, be happy with 150? Yeah, man, me too. Yeah, the Cricket will be back for sure, especially when I get back in the garage. What's deep with the TSLY trades? Manager on vacation or something? Sometimes the best move is no move at all. And let's take a look at TSLY as we speak. All right, Tesla went up 3.38%. TSLY went up 3.25%. So look at that beautiful thing here. 96% capture. Oh yeah. All right, so that's pretty awesome. How's their synthetic doing? They have a 225 synthetic. Tesla's at 259. So I'd like to say, yeah, it's doing awesome. Now let's look at the calls. Okay, they're finally in danger. Their lowest strike is 257.50. It's 0.77% in the money. All right, so obviously, what do we want Tesla to do? I mean, stay where it's at, right? Market, let's see the market. I have it on my other screen. Tesla, well, TSLL. Where the hell is TSLL? Yeah, it's green. Okay. So they may get capped on some of these, but it's okay. The synthetic strike is so low, like it's gonna it's gonna make so much more than how much we lose on this no matter what. So, and again, we do have the credit call spreads ready to jump in if needed, but the first one is 6% away, and we would need it to go above that number, especially since it's Friday, for it to be worth a damn. Because right now, what are they worth? 27 cents. That's all time value. 10 cents, 7 cents. They ain't getting crap for these. All right, so let's go to the bottom. So yes, to answer your question, the best move was honestly no move for TSLY, and I agree that they shouldn't have touched it. So good job, TSLY fund manager, for not working. That was actually, good. Tesla Sorry, there's a bunch of stuff here. Was there a video? No. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. I just took a few pictures. No video from New York. Sorry, MJ. I'm not really a selfie video type of person. I just wanted to get the few pictures and show you guys. Tesla at Robinhood shows how much? 261. Okay. Hey, Michael. No, unfortunately, I stopped that for the time being. It's not a permanent stop. It's baseball season. My son's on 2 teams. I coach both teams, and I just don't have the time. So I'm going to do 1 video per day. And right now it's basically YieldMax and, some other of my option stuff. So I'm in Southeast Asia to listen to karaoke 365 days a year. Your singing is a blessing to my ears. Skittles. Why the name Skittles? Is that like your favorite candy? I'm going to be asking a lot of questions. Hope that's okay. I'm learning a ton. Of course, that's okay. Sun's out, guns out. Yeah, TNA. I got to get to the gym after this. After someone takes my trampoline away. All right. Anyway, the value of the Tesla fund is 925 mil. The NAV is 798. Trade price 799. Synthetic bailout. Again, it's a great spot. It's worth $1.08 per share. 30-day IV 64%. IV estimate 40 cents. Income estimate 14 cents. Group A declares in 19 days on May 14th. Up next is Nvidia. Let's see if they had trades. I believe they did. So if we go here, we will actually go through the rest before we get to Nvidia. OARC did a buy to close call 189. That's a loser, unfortunately. Let's see. What the hell? Strike price. I don't know what's going on. What's going on with ARC? Showing 519. Anyone know? Anyone have any idea? I don't know, but I'll ignore that for now. But they closed out. It looks like they lost their trade, and they opened a new call for next week for $51. So again, this freaking something's wrong with this formula. But ARC is definitely not 519. Aptly by the close 579. They blew through their strike. Stock price at 208. They had a 202.50 strike, so they had to pay the difference. They opened a new position for next week, 215 strike. That's 3% out of the money. And then here we go. Here's Nvidia by the close call 545. They lost that. They lost that one because they closed at 106. The strike was at 100, so they took the hit. Again, no synthetic bailout, so it was just an overall hit. And then they did open up a new position for the next week, May 2nd, expiration, new strike of 110, 3.35% out of the money. So let's get to the file. Nvidia went up 3.5% yesterday. Nvidia went down 1.84%. Of course, that's because of the ex-dividend date. As you know, the fund will drop by the amount of the distribution, plus or minus, moving in the underlying, because this would have been a bigger negative, but since Nvidia went up, that's why they didn't do as bad. All right, so let's look at the holdings for Nvidia. They have a 95 and a 110 synthetic, both expiring May 16th. Nvidia's at 106, so right in between, pretty good spot. They got time. Time is on their side. Yes, it is. All right, 106 strike, 0.4% in the money. Not fantastic. Again, Nvidia pre-market looks to be red, so this may actually be safe. I know we got the whole day ahead of us. We'll see how things go. They also have a 107, a 110 for this week, 0.54% out of the money and 3.35% out of the money. So anything can happen. The strike that they chose for next week so far is 110, which is only 3% of the money. So to be honest, Today hopefully is a chill day. If Nvidia just chills out and stays flat, that would be best case. It can come down a little, of course. The value of the fund, as we said, is it's over $1 billion, 1.2 billion. The NAV is 14.12, trade price 14.13. Synthetic money is worth on paper 45 mil. That comes to 52 cents per share. 30-day IV is 51%. IV estimate 56 cents. Income estimates negative. Group B declares again in 26 days. Up next is your boy Coney, and let's take a look. I think Coney had trades, so we got to scroll back. Yeah, they did. But in between is Nestle. Let's see what Nestle did. They did a buy to close. Oh my God, they got destroyed. 42.44 per share. Their strike was 1,040. Netflix is at 1,096. So yeah, they lost about 2 million on that one. Another buy to close here, 54.76 per share. Even worse. Yeah, they got beat up yesterday. On, taxable loss 4.5 mil. So that, yeah, again, that's rough. Their strikes for next week are 2% out of the money and 3% out of the money. Anyway, let's move on to Coney. What did they do? Buy to close. They closed the call, $7.18 per share. They lost that trade. And they closed another one, $8 per share. They lost that trade. So, yeah. And they didn't touch their synthetic, so they just took the hit on the calls and they moved on. Strikes for next week, 5% and 7% out of the money. But again, we have the file here, so let's talk about it. And we'll check the comments as we go. All right, so here's some of the questions from physics. How is that deep? They decide how far into or out of the money they write options. I mean, it depends on how much premium they get. They can go further out of the money if the implied volatility is higher, but they have to go, a little closer to the money, a little lower percentage as the IV is less. So you'll see MSTY goes much further out of the money than some of these, like, for example, PLTY. They can't really go that far out of the money because Apple is not volatile, not nearly as volatile as MSTR. So it depends on the IV, it depends on the premium, it depends on the options interest, it depends on the buyers, it depends on a lot of things. Hopefully that helps. We need a what? We need a market pause where we are at. Have a call on Amazon. Oh yeah. I need TSLL to go on to close under 9 today. Right now it's showing to be at 882. So it's going to be a close one. Coin went up 4.45%. Coney went up 3.45%. 77% capture. I'll try to keep this moving along here. They have 3 synthetics, 185, 195, and a 220. And are they doing well? Well, Coin is at 203. So what do you think? I say yes. But the 220, yeah, it'll catch up, hopefully. Crypto's been on the up and up and up, and the up and up and up and up and up. All right. Anything in red now? I did red for the ones for next week. So, again, they're usually on the bottom. I was doing red the other direction, you may recall, but I'm switching it. All right. Anyway, for the calls that expire today, they have a 200, 202.50, 207.50. The 200 is 1.9% in the money, and the 202.50 is 0.67% in the money, and the 207.50 is 1.78% out of the money. So, I mean, ideally, good scenario is Coin kind of comes down a little bit, and they can close out these trades, maybe getting a win. It's going to be tough, though. Crypto's, it's been blowing up. Oh, wow. Coney is over $1 billion. Congratulations, Coney. You are now over $1 billion again. Your NAV is 811, trade price 811 on the money, 0 difference. Synthetic bailout, 70 mil. That's worth 55 cents per share on paper. Their 30-day IV is 70%. IV estimate 44 cents. Group C declares in 5 days, April 30th. So they will be on the Sunday guesstimate video. So stay tuned for that. Up next is your boy SMCY, but let's scroll through here. Let's see what we got. Disso. It looks like a lot of these covered call ETFs are going to lose money. TSLY lost money. They lost their trade, $86. Again, no cash out on their synthetic, but their new position, 92 strike, 2% out of the money. So yeah, as you can see, whoever asked that question, can't talk today. Disney is not as volatile, so they can't go that far out of the money. They're only 2% out of the money on that. All right, AMDY by the close, they lost their trade. Again, the market's much more green than expected, for sure. And so they sold a call for next week. It's 4% out of the money, 4.8% out of the money. PP, let's see how they did. And they're a little closer, actually. They should have left it, to be honest. They had one day. I don't know if this is all their positions, but they had a 63 strike. PayPal closed at 64.77. So, again, they closed it, whatever. They opened a new position for next week, 69 strikes, 6.53% out of the money. That's not bad. Not bad. XYZY by the close, 245. Yep, they lost their trade as well. It closed it looks like 250 above it. Their new call for next week, 62 strikes, 7.83% out of the money. All right, let's look at Murney. I know someone was asking about Murney yesterday. Buy call, sell put, sell call. All right, so this is just adding to their synthetic position, $27. That's fine. They sold a call for next week, 29 strike, 5% out of the money. Looks like here they're cashing out their synthetic. Their synthetic is at 35, though. They're very far away from that, 27% away from that. So with, not a month, but maybe 3 weeks left, they closed it out early. They took the big hit, 21 million, and they opened a new synthetic at 27, which is at the money. Hopefully this one performs better. But yeah, man, ouch. Murney lost 20 million yesterday. Taxable loss right there. I mean, this fund is god awful. I don't know why anyone would want this fund, to be honest. I mean, unless you believe in Moderna, that's the only way, right? And of course, the IV is very respectable. It's a very volatile fund, rightfully so. But it's just one thing after the next. Just bad. It's horrible. All right. Anyway, AIYY by the close. Oof. Yeah, man. They got destroyed on closing out this synthetic. Again, what the hell are they doing? Why are they closing? This expires June 20th. I don't get it. When I don't get it, whatever, man. They closed out the synthetic 25. Again, it could just be a tax thing, right? They want to take the loss. They want to take the hit. Because in the end, yes, it's all the same, right? Because they're going to open a new position right away, and they'll capture that upside. So, whatever. So their new synthetic is 20. All right. So let's see what else they got going on. Down by the close, 87 cents, 78 cents. So yeah, are they winning? I don't know, man. 470. Yeah, that it's so tiny. Look at this ETF is $4.07. AIYY is 474. Oh, horrible. By the close, 148. Yeah, that hurts. New call for next week, 2% out of the money. I don't know. I'm moving on from AIYY before I'm trying to be positive here, right? It's Positive Friday. Is that a thing? As I'm scrolling and I can't see. All right, we covered MSTY. Let's keep going. Crash. Who cares? GDXY. What are they doing? Buy, call, sell, put. Yeah, adding to their freaking synthetic. But here, buy, close 4 cents. Oh my God, we got a winner. GDXY has won their trade. Now they're selling a call for next week, 51 strike, 2.49% out of the money. Again, I like this fund because it represents, to me, a different index, right? The gold index. I don't own it, but I just think it's good for that reason. SMCY by the close, yeah, destruction. They got destroyed. They had a 150 strike, and snow is at 158. New strike for next week is 4% out of the money. Here's fiat. Here's dips. No one cares. Babo, how you doing? They're adding to their synthetic. Oh, they're cashing out here. Cashing out the 140 synthetic. got their ass handed to them here because they're at 119. Whatever. All right, so what are they doing? They're going to create a new synthetic at 119. Hopefully that one does better. YQQQ, don't really care. TSMY, buy to close. Yep, they lost their trade as well. Yeah, it's a rough time, man. Their new position, 2% out of the money. All right, we finally got to SMCY. Again, I don't know if anyone cared about that noise, but I just went through it anyway because typically Friday and Saturday, I'll just skim through how some of the other funds did. Feel free to let me know your thoughts. All right, here's SMCY. Buy to close 219. Yeah, they lost that one. 256. They lost that one, and they lost that one. So they lost their trades. But let's look at the new ones for next week. 4% out of the money, 3%, and 7% out of the money. So in the end, how much did they actually lose yesterday? 2.9 million. So it's not, I guess, horrible, but still sucks. And we'll see what they left open because I don't think they closed every trade. SMCI went up 8.13%. SMCY went up 4.38%. Yeah, this is bad. This is only 53% upside. Sorry, I take a sip of water. No crinkly water bottle. Horrible day for SMCY. Horrible. How's their synthetic? Their synthetic's at 35. Their synthetic is unfortunately only at the money. So it's not like that can even bail them out. What's left over for this week, though, they have a 34.50. That's 3.66% in the money. So SMCI looks to be up in the pre-market. And what do we got here? We got 36.53% in the money. So we kind of need SMCI to go down to win these trades. And here's their little long call, credit call spread, insurance policy. It ain't going to do nothing for them. Right now it's worth 7 cents. It's probably going to be worth a penny by the end of the day. Here's in red for next week, 3, 4, and 7% out of the money if you care. But again, that's for next week. So the value of the fund is 135 mil. The NAV is 1932. Trade price 1941. Synthetic is worth 2.6 mil, approximately 37 cents per share. 30-day IV is 98%. IV estimate $1.47. Income estimate, they're getting their ass kicked. It's obviously negative. Group D declares in 12 days, May 7th. Up next is your boy PLTY. Hopefully they have some better luck. So they're up next in line. But before I get to PLTY, let me just check the messages. Yeah, I got to scroll. Wow, there's a decent amount. Yeah, thanks, LA. Don't forget to hit that like button. Where do you get 30-day IV number from? It's a formula, and I think it's from Alpha something website. Alpha Query. I don't know. Yeah, it's a formula that I got. I don't know if you guys do you want that formula? I could give it to you. There you go. All right. Hello. Not even going to try to say that name. Please explain why the ever increasing outstanding shares doesn't, because they're new money, man. Their money goes into the fund, increasing the total, assets under management, right? Which obviously, gets added to the cash and they can use that for, new transactions. So since their money comes in, it doesn't, just like the price doesn't change, right? Because people add new money. Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, whatever they make, right? Now, when you say reduce the payout, yeah, obviously if more and more people buy into the fund, especially between like the declaration date and the day before, that could have an impact on the payout. But keep in mind, whatever they don't pay out, you're keeping that in your capital. So you're not really losing out on anything. So if you really needed it, obviously you could sell a share or two to compensate. But whatever they're not paying, keep in mind, you're keeping that right into your your price, your capital. Have to go, everyone. Father duties call. Yeah, man. Wolf, I get it. I'll be doing that right after this. I'm off today, thank God. But I mean, what's off, right? When you're on daddy duty. All right. Here's Jeff. Jeff is a chatter, man. He's loading up. Doc's my man. Look at that. Member for 7 months. Thank you, Doc. I appreciate it. They got their top talent on MSTY. Yeah. For sure. All right, I'm just gonna quickly scroll. There's too much here. All right, here's a question for Jay. Could you ask Jay when you have your interview why MSTY is holding? Yes, 100%. I want to ask that. No, I mean, they probably, they're paying out what they make. So that cash, it's just, if it's not there, it would be in treasuries. So this guy's the best, and Rod we trust. Where's TC been? I don't know, man. I guess he's bored of my videos, right? But TC, if you're there and hiding, come say hi. Yeah, he's probably in the shadows. You're right. Anyway, let's move on. So Palantir, did we cover what they did? Oh my God. Buy to close, $8. Yeah. Destroyed. They lost their, oh wait. Stock price 107, 296. Yeah, no, never mind. Yeah, they lost that one. All right. Yeah, they lost all their trades. That's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so. All right, PLTY did not have a great day either. PLTY went up 6.46%. PLTY went up 3.41%, 52% capture. I mean, there's only so much these funds can do, right? When you're having such a green week. Again, you want a little green, a splash of green here, a splash of green there when you're investing in these funds. You don't want a week like this because you're going to be capped, and we are capped. And we'll take a look at the 7-day. Someone's got to remind me on Monday. I'll take a look at the 7-day chart and just see, like, not the chart, but the numbers and see what it looks like. All right, anyway, PLTY has a $100 synthetic. That's sitting pretty because Palantir is at 107. They're leaving one strike price open. It's a 105. It's 2.58% in the money. So that one doesn't look to be safe either, but we'll see how this day goes. The value of this fund is 275 mil. The NAV is 6. Oh, wait. Was yesterday? Oh, duh. Oh, my God. Dumbass. Yesterday was X date. Forget what I said before. My bad. But, I mean, honestly, they just had X date, and there's still a 6122 fund. This freaking ETF is, I don't know. It's awesome. All right, anyway, their synthetic is worth 468 per share. 30-day IV, 88%. IV estimate 417. Income estimate 1091. Again, this is why I thought they should pay over $5. Group B declares in 26 days. All right, let's keep going down the line here. Let's see what else. Mara, whatever. All right, they're adding new money into the synthetic 13. They're selling calls for next week, $15 strike, 7% out of the money. Okay. And then, they did a buy to close. This is a 1350 strike. They paid 66 cents. It looks like they eked out alive, in my opinion. So it looks like Maro did pretty good. Carvani or Kivni or Sivni or whatever the hell you want to call it, they closed out their synthetic and they made a killing overall for the day. Net income 8.4 million. So Carvani people, you're very happy. There's Winter. Again, we don't cover inverse. There's Ulti. We don't really cover Ulti, LFGY, blah, freaking blah. Lordy freaking da, right? What movie is that from, right? I probably didn't give it any justice. All right, some other things here. Again, I pulled up the MSTR website. I just think it's really cool. Again, I'm becoming more and more of a Bitcoin nerd as I'm more and more addicted to MSTR, so you can kind of see like what their average cost basis is at the top. MSTR's Bitcoin, you know, we know they own about 538,200 Bitcoins. That's insane. Their average cost basis is 67,000. Unfortunately, they're averaging up every time, but it is what it is. But it's just crazy, man, crazy. And then I wanted to pull this up. This is coin market cap to see the supply. It says total supply 19.85 mil, max supply 21 mil. So I don't know what the what's left over. And then it shows circulating supply is 19.85 mil. So I mean, I guess, are they saying what's left over is 21 minus the 19.85? Obviously, the people are buying and selling all the time, so it's all good. But once the max supply is in circulation, then you figure Bitcoin should, you know, simply be priced on all, you know, demand only. Again, I don't know if that's everyone's understanding, but that's pretty awesome. Anyway, let's go to the comments, and then I'll talk about my options trades, and then we could shut down for the day and move on with our lives, right? Let's go. In Rod we trade, yeah, TC. MJ, sometimes I think I should, yeah, I would do both. Why not? Doc does, right? And Doc knows he's a busy man. Yeah, PLTY's been doing well for sure. Morning, Kieran. Man, Kieran, you got to get up earlier, right? You always get up around this time, I guess. Let me keep going. Bitcoin just can't break 94K. I'm good with that for this week, right? Let's chill. Let's save some for next week. All right, PLTY recovered. Yeah, man, awesome. PLTY's a beast. All right, options time. So currently, yes, I still have my MSTY put. It expires next week. And the reason I chose next week expiration is because they declare the following. So if I got assigned, I would not give two craps because I would get a distribution the following week. So the reason I did it, again, is to get 50 cents per share or $50. Right now, my put is 12% out of the money. So if MSTY does not close below 20 next week, I would get my collateral of 2,000 back. And what I would do is I would sell another put on MSTY right before the Friday of the next declaration. And I'm just going to do that once a month. And if I get assigned, I keep the shares. If I don't, then I just keep it up. That's the plan. I don't know if you guys do anything similar, but yeah. All right, so let's keep going. All right, so TSLL. Yesterday I did one trade. It was at 850. I sold a call for 1150. It was 35% out of the money. Now it's 31. But I didn't get much, unfortunately. My delta was even under 10, so super safe. I only got $7, 7 cents per share. $7, still 37% annualized yield. So, not too bad, but better than nothing. I wanted to do something, but the IV is going down kind of. Now, as far as for today, TSLL pre-market right now, it reflects 890. My puts are safe. I have a $6 and $5 put, so they're above that price. These are not safe, right? The 10 is okay. The 9 is definitely in danger. The other 10, well, that's for next week, so that's definitely going to be in danger. And then this 950 could be in danger as well. Again, TSLL is at 890. So if TSLL closes above 9, I'm going to roll this position before the end of closing. And I'm going to roll it, keep the same strike, and choose an expiration date for next week. If it closes below 9, I'm just going to leave it, let it expire worthless. But this is the closest I've gotten since I've been selling calls, on TSLL. Because again, my cost basis, as you may recall, is $17.22. So obviously, I don't want to sell shares for $9 because that would be a loss of capital. And I'm not here to lose capital. I'm here to collect income and either stay capital flat or make capital. But this is why you got to be careful if you're selling calls for a strike under your cost basis. But in this market, pretty much everyone is. We're all in the same boat together. So that's kind of where I stand today. TSLL, the magic number is $9. Stay below $9. Okay, thank you. NVDX, again, I'm playing this one a little different because I don't care. I want out of this ETF. I don't want to do options on NVDX anymore, but I'm not going to give up my shares that easily either. So, yesterday, actually, let's just look at the price now. NVDX is currently at $6.99. So I had a call for what, $6? Yeah, I had a $6. I rolled it yesterday. I rolled it out 1 week, same strike though, and I collected $12 per 12 cents per share, or $12. And then I also rolled the 650 and I collected 20 cents per share on that, $20. So again, I collected another $32 just rolling them into the next week. And I will roll these as long as I can. So all of them now, they expire next week. So I do have a put, $6 put, which right now NVDX, like we said, it's above 6, so it's not in danger. So this is probably just going to expire worthless. Will I sell another put for next week? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Just a way to continue to lower my cost basis. You never know. I may make it out alive without a loss. But again, I was accepting a loss on this one because I just wanted to get out of it in general. All right, last but not least, TNA. Yesterday, when it was at 24.24, I sold a call at 29 strike for next week. It was 19% out of the money. Now it's 14% out of the money, so obviously it went up. It was a 0.1 delta, which is very, very safe, at least in my eyes, right? And it paid me 15 cents per share, or $15. Annualized yield, kind of shitty at 28%, but hey, it is what it is. I don't want to get assigned, and TNA has been crazy lately. I also have some stuff expiring today. I have an $18 put. TNA is at 24.68, so obviously way above that, so that's safe. I have 2 calls expiring today. The 25 is okay right now. Again, pre-market shows 24.70, so that's safe. Not necessarily super safe, but it's safe. This one's in danger. It's in the money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to roll this one probably, unless TNA decides to really go down under the $24 range and then expire worthless. But we'll see how things go. We'll see how all this progresses. But that's the risk. Again, I'm selling calls at strike prices below my 39.33 cost basis. And again, because I need to make income. I need to make money off of those shares, and I am. But again, we had a really, really green week, which, you typically don't want that all to happen at so fast, but it did. And, we'll deal with it. We'll figure it out, and we'll go from there. So that's pretty much it. That's the update on my options trades. And yeah, I think that's it. I'll go to, I'll pull up the Bitcoin chart, and then I'll go to any questions. All right, what are we, 54 minutes in? Not terrible. I think I covered everything, right? All right, so anyone have any questions before we run out of here? Bitcoin max supply won't my 21 less. What? I don't know what he's saying. PLTY, yeah, we talked about that. Not counting the 3 to 5 million that have been considered lost and gone forever. Yeah, that's horrible. Horrible for them. LA's gone. CLA. Do I have a total profit loss for the year? For what? My options this year? I have it on, I think, 2025. Yeah, right here. Where is it? Is that? Yeah. Just to make sure the formula works. So I made $44,956.69 in options premium this year so far. You know, it's lower than I wanted to, but again, I had to play a little different, and because again, we got destroyed. The market just got destroyed. So what can you do? Hopefully that answered your question. All right, let me go back to the chat. Okay, Sancho Day. I aim for a max 0.2 delta for my options on MSTR. 0.1 is nice. Yeah, I mean, again, under 0.2, I'm only doing this because I'm in danger. Normally, I don't care if I get assigned. If you know, as long as my cost basis, as long as my strike is good, you know, it's just so far underwater that I have to be below 0.2. Normally, I don't really care. Right, I could sell out the money as long as I'm not losing capital, and that's what I would do. I would scatter my strikes, but again, it's just a tough time, different strategy. What is the fiscal year? No, I think it's 11/1 to 10/31 for YieldMax. I assume you're asking about YieldMax. Yeah, options. Thank you. Have a great weekend. Love the baseball. Yeah, thanks, Sancho. All right, guys. I think we made it to the end of the video. Obviously, I'll keep my eye on the comments and the questions as I go. But as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, we will try again tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be live again, 6:30 a.m. again, and we'll go from there. So after that, again, next week, I'll be back to the norm, probably pre-recordings. But I'm having fun. To me, the live video is actually kind of easier. It's more fun. I get an extra hour of sleep, but hey, it is what it is. But you know, let's see. Going to buy some CP. Oh, here's a question, I think. Always wondered, if you re-rolled a sold call, what happens to the buyer's call? So you're asking, all right, so if I go here, so I rolled this call, right? Sold call. I rolled it. Now, this call, I did a buy to close, right? So I had to do, there's two parts of the rolling order. There's a buy to close and there's a sell to open. There's a buy to close the call, this call, the $6 one that expires today. And then there's the sell to open the new position. New position was same strike, but next week expiration. So if you look in here, you guys probably can't see. I didn't zoom in this one. You still can't see. But at the top here, I paid 78 cents to close the call, right? I had to pay that gap, just like YieldMax does, right? I had to cash settle that gap to close a call that I only got 27 cents on, right? I had to pay 78 cents to close it. So obviously, yeah, that's a loser. However, I did get 90-cent credit for the new position. So if I take the 90-cent credit I got for the sell to open and I subtract out the 78 cents for the buy to close, I have a net credit of 12 cents. And I'm only going to roll it if I'm getting a net credit. But that's what happens, right? Because again, I'm the buyer at that point. So I'm buying this back to close for whatever it's worth. And, you know, again, I had to pay 78 cents. That was the price. And it's gone. It's gone. I was the seller and the buyer. I did a buy to close, my own shares, and closed them out. And I opened a new position, you know, for next week. I don't know if that made sense, but hopefully it did. Have a great weekend, Sancho. Live is better, says Eric. Thank you. So the person bought that call, paid it. Well, think about it. When you click on your brokerage, you click, like, say I was just doing a buy to close, I would just be buying to close my own position, right? Because I'm closing my position. So I'm a buyer. Doesn't mean I'm technically closing that exact same position, but I'm paying whatever it costs at that point in time to close it. So, again, I know it's a little confusing. And when you do the rolling order, since it's 2 transactions at once, a buy to close and a sell to open, you would pick a limit net credit. Like I picked a limit net credit of 12 cents. So between these two, they had to come and meet in the middle, right? And they did. 90 cents on one, 78 cents debit on the other. So, and again, it's just maybe it's still confusing, but it's not. Some brokerages make it, I like Thinkorswim. They make it easier to understand when you see it. It is an intimidating system though. So, I mean, I get it. It all takes time, and it is scary too. You just want to make sure you're clicking the right button. Yeah. Good morning, Carlos. Good to have you. Check out Carlos Travel on Twitter, by the way. He has got that cool little X in his name too. I don't know how he did that. Yeah, market makers, exactly. Market makers everywhere. That's what keeps options going. And then us, the scrubby retailers in between. All right, guys, we're at the end of the video. So we have to talk about keywords. So if anyone is still here, well, there's 224 of you, according to YouTube, are still here. I need a keyword. So that being said, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. What is the freaking keyword? It's Friday. That's a plus, right? And yeah. You want this as the keyword? Is that what we're doing? All right. So let's see. Here we go. Let's pull that up. Oh, damn. Carlos, thank you very much. All right. So the keyword is she take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger way over town that digs on me. Oh, so that is the key word. Yes, that is the key word. Do you believe it? I don't know how it is, but it is. That was the first thing that came up, and I didn't sing Gold Digger today, so I sang it for the keywords. So if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you have to type down in the comments the keyword. Now, in short, I guess you can type in gold digger or she's a gold digger, or you could type in she take my money when I'm in need. Yeah, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger way over town that digs on. I don't know. All right, I'm done. I'm done making a fool. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. That's the end of the video. I just wanted to say thank you for all 199 of you for hanging around to the very, 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 very last minute, even for double gold digger songs. Hey, but you got to blame whoever posted that. Nenq. Oh, wow. I just made $10 for singing. See that? It was all worth it. Thank you, Nenq. You are very generous. No, I appreciate it. That's awesome, man. Great way to end the video for sure. And Carlos, he's done with gold. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right. So guys, you know the keyword. It's gold digger, or it's all those lyrics that are floating across the screen right now. You could see it. I added the banner. I see. I'm stepping up my game. I'm getting a little more techie here, using the advantages of StreamYard. Since it is not cheap, but it is a cool platform. All right, guys, I am out of here. Again, thank you for watching, and I will talk to you tomorrow.